Vijay Mallya, who was called the King of Good Times, has been one of India's most talked about businessmen. Today, his name is linked to big business dreams and disagreements. He used to be the chairman of United Spirits and the founder of Kingfisher Airlines. He did business in everything from alcohol to airplanes and built a big business group. His fancy lifestyle was always in the news. But Kingfisher Airlines' money problems changed the story. The airline's planes were grounded and the company got into a lot of debt. Kingfisher got a loan of thousands of crores from Indian banks. Mallya took a loan of about 6,200 crore rupees. When the loan wasn't paid back, it became a big problem. In March 2016, Mallya went to the UK, and the issue got even bigger. His leaving the country caused anger and pressure. This case became a test for India's money and legal system. The biggest question in this story is how much money was actually paid back and how much is still owed. Vijay Mallya says that he has paid back even more money than he borrowed. According to him, the banks have taken back assets worth about 14,000 crore rupees. Mallya often talks about the original amount, which was 6,203 crore rupees. He says that the recovery has been more than this amount and even more than the normal interest. Mallya says that he is being treated unfairly, even though the banks have gotten their money. On the other hand, the banks say that the real picture is different. According to the banks, Mallya's calculations are not complete because he doesn't include the interest, penalties and other fees that grew over time. According to the banks, the total amount owed by April 2025 was about 17,781 crore rupees. Banks believe they have recovered a large sum, which is about 10,815 crore rupees. But according to them, about 7,000 crore rupees are still owed, so they continue with legal action. This difference shows how calculations can often be different in big company loans. Mallya focuses on the original amount, which is easy for regular people to understand. Meanwhile, banks believe that a loan is not fully paid until the entire amount, including interest and penalties, is settled. That's why both sides claim to be right based on their own numbers. This disagreement has grown even more with recent statements. In a podcast in June 2025, Mallya again said that he was being wrongly accused and questioned the bank's numbers. Before this, in February 2025, Mallya filed a petition in the Karnataka High Court saying that banks should provide a full account of the recovery. Some business people also supported this demand. They said that if Mallya's debt has been paid, then banks should give clear information so that people are not confused. When Vijay Mallya left the country and his loan defaults started to increase, India's legal and enforcement agencies began several actions. The government declared Mallya a fugitive economic offender. This was a new law made to stop people who leave the country to avoid legal action. After this decision, agencies like the Enforcement Directorate got the power to seize Mallya's assets in India and abroad. The Enforcement Directorate and CBI made serious accusations against Mallya, like financial fraud and money laundering. They said that the loans were taken wrongly, and the money was used for things other than the airline. A large part of the recovery was related to selling Mallya's assets. After getting approval from Indian courts, the group of banks was allowed to sell the assets that the Enforcement Directorate had seized. This process had many legal claims and ownership issues, but eventually the banks got a lot of money back. The seized assets included company shares, real estate, and other valuable items. Seizing these assets and handing them over to the banks was a big win for the government, which strengthened efforts to hold economic offenders accountable. The government has often called these recoveries a big success. During discussions on the 2024-25 budget, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman informed Parliament that 14,131.6 crore rupees recovered from Mallya had been returned to public banks. This official statement from the government made it clear that a large sum of money was indeed recovered from Mallya. However, officials have also said that the recovery process is the same for all debtors, and no special treatment was given to Mallya. Mallya says that these actions by the Enforcement Directorate and CBI weaken the case against him. His argument is that once the Enforcement Directorate seized the assets and gave them to the banks, there was no basis left for the money laundering charges. He also says that the accusations related to the IDBI bank loan are wrong, because the bank has received the full amount from the sale of the assets. According to Mallya, his extradition is now being sought not for money recovery, but as a punishment, even though he believes the banks have received all their money. The biggest point of this whole case is, what does it really mean to pay back a loan in full? Vijay Mallya and his supporters believe that when more assets have been sold and recovered than the original loan amount, the matter should be closed. They say that it's not right to ask for more money now, because it's only due to years of legal cases and increased interest. But for banks and the government, a loan is only fully paid when every condition is met, including interest and penalties. Until the full amount is paid, the case remains open and legal action can continue. This case is very important for India's banks and for dealing with the problem of bad loans. It shows how difficult it is for banks to recover large loans and how much effort they have to put in. The Mallya case made us rethink how loans are given, especially relying on brand value and the promoter's guarantee. Recovering loans by selling assets gave power to banks and showed the effect of new strict laws, setting an example for the future. Also, the Mallya case affects every borrower, whether it's a company or a regular customer. It shows how important it is to understand loan terms, especially rules related to interest and penalties. The discussion also brought out that the original loan amount is only a part of the total amount owed, which can increase significantly over time due to interest and penalties. This case shows that not paying back loans can have serious financial and legal consequences, no matter who it is. In the end, Vijay Mallya's case is a complicated example of finance, law, and public opinion. Mallya says he has paid his debt, but banks believe there is still money owed. The resolution of this case, whether it's Mallya's return or a final agreement, will be a turning point. This will send a message of accountability in India's corporate world and will continue to affect the relationship between banks and borrowers until the entire account is clear.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.